We're in the orchard now, are we?
We are. So basically, one of the things we're really trying to do is grow as much fruit as we can in a wall garden. So those beds there, the two far ones will be vegetable beds. They will be mirrored on the north side of the garden by two more. There'll be herbs down the middle, but on this bed here, again, that will be mirrored with another bed there, and that'll be soft fruit. So the intention is to grow lots of soft fruit, but also lots of tree fruit as well. So it's very hard to see at the moment because we're doing this in December, and obviously the leaves are falling off the trees. But along the south wall there are 100 apple trees. Along the east wall, which faces west, along the whole length of the wall, we've got 50 pear trees. But this part here is a sort of orchard area, and we've got green gages, damsons, plums, and cherries. So you can see there's lots of tree fruit being grown. And in the soft
Specific request from the kitchen and the chef, or
I think that that one of the things we've seen is whilst fruit isn't available all year round, in the period in Northumberland where fruit is available, Alex uses an awful lot of it.
Yeah, I think it's one of those delicious things, you know. For the restaurant, we want to do the little market shop, not the market shop, but the garden shop, where you can buy some jams, apple juice, pear juice, blackberry, like things like this. And I think what we do, like, we can grow it all here and then transform it into the kitchen and then make it into jam and pickles and juices. I mean, Bob made this amazing apple juice, and we want to continue doing this throughout the years.
So the apple juice that we make back on the farm, it only has one real ingredient. It's the apples. You know, you go to supermarkets and shops and you see apple juice, and a lot of it is concentrated apple. It has other ingredients in it, but basically we just do a basic natural apple juice, which is effectively apples, and it tastes amazing, doesn't it? I mean, it really does.
Yeah.
And that sort of freshness, you know, that freshness and flavour is something we're really focusing on. In the soft fruit area, we'll be growing blackberries, strawberries, raspberries, tailberries, loganberries, any blueberries, gooseberries, any sort of soft fruit you can think of. The intention is we're going to grow it.
So when you stand here and you look at it now, what's your first thought? Right now in this moment, you look at this place, you know this is yours, did you know this is happening? What are you thinking?
Well, it's a number of things. I mean, first of all, is
Smiling at least.
how lucky am I to have this opportunity? You know, you dream about jobs like this. You dream about working in a walled garden, to be able to design that walled garden, and then to see it from the journey we're going to be on. The journey we're going to be on as a garden, the journey we're going to be on from a restaurant point of view, is fantastic. And we always said our aim is to be the best restaurant in the country. Why do you want to be the second best restaurant? You know, our aim is to be the best one. For it to be the best one, we need to have the best produce. So our challenge is to make sure we've got the best produce we can, the freshest produce we can, the variety of produce we can for Alex.
So like a couple of times we spoke about you talking about you had a career change around 60 years old. Why is this? What made you become a gardener, and why?
I mean, so whilst I was a career change at 60, you've really got to go back to when I was a young boy. And one of the very first memories I have is one Sunday lunchtime. My father had a large back garden which had lots of vegetables in it. He also had 2 allotments. And I also remember one Sunday lunchtime, my mother was making the traditional Sunday lunch, and she said to my father, we need some potatoes. He went into the vegetable area at the back garden, and he went and harvested some potatoes, and half an hour later they were on our plate. And I always remember to this day putting those new potatoes into my mouth, and they just melted. And that memory of taken something from a garden and it had been on your plate in the shortest time possible really resonated with me. And I said my dad had a big back garden. He also had 2 allotments, and I wouldn't say I was dragged along to the allotments, but I did seem as if I was there an awful long time. So whether that was my dad encouraging me, or whether or not it was me following my dad, or whether it was, you know, something the interest was way back then. And I talked about greenhouses going up. When that greenhouse comes, it will be built by the manufacturer's woodpecker joinery. But always remember, and this might seem a long time ago for yourself, but in 1976 we had a fantastic summer, and it was one of the hottest summers ever. And for my summer holidays, I took time off work. I was 20 years old, and myself and my father built a greenhouse, and it came in so many pieces, and then we spent 2 weeks constructing that greenhouse from scratch, and it was one of the best things I ever did. So the memories of my mother and my father working together to put produce on the plate, going along to the allotments, building the greenhouse with my dad, it was all in there. So throughout my whole life, I've always sort of worked in gardens, had an allotment with Anne, and it was always something I wanted to do. So when we moved to the country, when we moved to Hexhamshire, we were looking for a house with a little bit of land, because we wanted to have time to do our passion, which was gardening.
Yeah.
And it didn't have a little bit of land, it came with 6 acres. And I always remember the first day, I turned around to Anne when we went to look at the house, and I said, you know, we're both agreed this is the house for us. And I said, when we were walking through one of the fields, we could turn this into a market garden. So that's when the career change really started. It then resulted in us setting up Hexhamshire Guides, meeting yourself, Alex, and then it ends up with this. Quite a journey, but quite a journey still to go.
But then that's like you obviously had a very good career in technology.
Yep.
And then I guess it's like a quite big risk going from a good career to technology. And
There's a huge risk.
yes,
There's a huge risk. I mean, I worked for a fantastic firm called Accenture. I was in charge of 650 people.
Yeah.
I had a good salary. I really enjoyed it. But you're here once, right? And always say, follow your dreams. And my dream was to be a gardener. And so I left work. 11 days left Accenture 11 days before my 60th birthday.
Yeah.
I left, and it was a big risk, but I was following my dream. It was hard when we first started, because there was a big transition from having an allotment and a back garden to trying to grow things commercially.
Yeah.
More
Responsibility, right?
more responsibility, because we still have, you know, we still got a mortgage to pay, we still got bills to pay, we still had to generate some revenue and money. But Anne had been successful in her career. She had worked in catering. She had out on delicatessen. We'd both been successful.
Yeah.
And the first few years were really challenging, because it was trying to find out how to grow, to switch from being an allotment grower to being a commercial grower.
Yeah.
And there was times during that period where I thought, are we doing the right thing?
Yeah.
But I always convinced myself we were doing the right thing. I knew it would be successful, and this is how it's turned out. And it just this just couldn't be any better for me.
Yeah.
You know, it's gone really well.
But I mean, I followed your journey for around 5 years now, probably 6, closer to 6.
Yeah, it's close at 6, I think now. Yeah.
And I mean, for me as a chef, the way we progress and the way Bob is organizing everything, and there's no better guy, and together with his wife to take care of this kind of business.
I mean, we do work well together. I mean, Alex jokes about we're talking together a lot. We talk about it every day, and that sort of closeness between the gardener and the chef is a really fundamental thing for any successful restaurant. And as I said, you know, we're going to make this restaurant really successful.
So what's this, Bob?
So as I say, soft fruit's going to go in there. We're going to have vegetables in it. There's going to be 2 more that mirror these and on the north part of the garden. And the reason we're having 4 is because we'll operate a 4-year crop rotation plan. So we will rotate different varieties of vegetables around these 4.
Yeah.
I know you like lots of herbs, so in the middle be big herb gardens. In the greenhouse, we'll use the greenhouse to its maximum. You know, we will have the summer fruiting vegetables, the tomatoes, the cucumbers, but we'll also be growing flowers as well, you know, to make sure that
And it's an expert of flowers, isn't
she is. So, you know, we're a good combination in terms of, you know, she really focuses a lot on flowers, edible flowers, display flowers. So those will be in the restaurant, in the hotel, from the display side of things.
Yeah.
But, you know, every morning, myself, we're walking around the garden at the moment.
Yeah.
But every morning we will do something called a chef's walk.
Yeah.
We'll do something called a chef's walk, where we will come in, we'll see what's available, we'll see what produce is ready for harvesting, and Alice will go, I'll have some of this, some of this, some of this. Can you do me some of those?
Yeah.
And that will mean then Alice will take away, and then you owe it to yourself to create the recipes and the dishes for that night's sitting.
And the guests are going to be able to see it, going to be able to speak to you, Bob.
Yeah. So before, when people book in, there will be an option to have a tour of the wall garden.
Yeah.
And you know, before dinner, we'll take them on a walk around the wall garden. We'll show them the techniques we use, the approaches we've got in place, the variety of stuff we've got, and then we're coming up to the main entrance to the garden here, and we're going to put a bell over the top of this gate.
Yeah.
Because the viewers might come start to realise I can talk a lot.
Yeah. So did I.
So we might be ringing the bell saying, Bob, can you stop the talk? The sittings are ready.
It's quite interesting to see how many of our viewers take such a good liking to you and your, like, this kind of project you're doing and the way you speak and the way, I think you can see the passion through everything that you do every day, kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people in this country are gardeners. A lot of people would be really interested in what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
They'll be interested in the organic status that we've got. They'll be interested in a no-dig approach.
No dig, my favorite subject. Well, that's a million times.
So we'll be talking in future episodes about the benefits of no-dig, the benefits of growing things organically, how we operate, and you know, a lot of people are interested in this type of thing, and this will be a real interest, especially with that aspect of we grow, we harvest,
You cook.
and we cook.
That's nice. And if anyone is interested, they can ask you on the channel, Bob, and you'll be happy to answer it.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you have any questions to Bob, just send an email and Bob will be more than happy to answer.
So I hope you enjoyed today's walk around the wall garden. If you like what you see, please press the like button and please subscribe. Thanks very much for listening.
Thank you.